Good morning everyone, I'm Janna Mae Pascua together with my buddy Lenon Mayo, and we are here today to discuss about the Canada police system. Here are the contents of our presentation. We have the short details about Canada, overview of police system in Canada, their short history of their police system, organizational structure, recruitments, firearms, weapons, equipments, uniform, rank insignia, best practices, and other details. And let's talk about Canada. Canada is a country in the northern part of North America. Its 10 provinces and 3 territories extend from the Atlantic to Pacific and northward into the Arctic Ocean. Canada is the second largest country by the total area. Its southern border with the United States, stretching some 8,891 kilometers, is the world's longest binational land border. Canada's capital is Ottawa, and its 3 largest metropolitan areas, Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver. Canada is a parliamentary democracy in a constitutional monarchy in a Westminster tradition, with a monarch and a prime minister who serve as the chair of the cabinet and the head of the government. The country is a realm within the Commonwealth of Nations, a member of the Francophonie, and officially bilingual at the federal level. Next is the overview. Their name of their police agency, Royal Canadian Police. So RCMP, also known as the Mounties, are like Canada's national police force. They are responsible for keeping people safe across the whole country. They work to enforce laws, investigate crimes, and help people in emergencies. You might see them patrolling the streets, helping out the accidents or investigating crimes. Next is the department, the Public Safety Canada. Public Safety Canada keeps Canadians safe. They handle national security like fighting terrorism and cybercrime, emergency planning for disaster and pandemics, oversee the RCMP, and other federal police work with prison and create programs to prevent crime. They work with governments and groups to achieve this. Next, let's talk about the ranks. The commissioner is the highest and the cadet is the lowest. The RCMP has a unique rank structure that combines elements of military and police hierarchies. Here's the rank from highest to lowest. We will see the commission officers. We have the commissioner, the highest rank officer responsible for the overall leadership and management of the RCMP. Deputy commissioner. Deputy commissioner assists the commissioner in specific areas of responsibility. Next is the assistant commissioner, regional commanders responsible for overseeing large geographic areas. Chief superintendent, commanders of division or major units. Superintendent, commanders of smaller units or specialized area. Inspector, supervisory roles within division or units. And then non-commissioned officer, we have the Corps Sergeant Major, the highest ranking non-commissioned officer responsible for training and development. Next is the Sergeant Major, senior non-commissioned officer responsible for specific areas of expertise. And Staff Sergeant Major, supervisory roles within units. Staff Sergeant, supervisory roles within detachment or teams. Sergeant, supervisory roles within smaller units or teams. And then we have a corporal, supervisory roles within smaller units or teams. And the last one is the constable, the entry-level rank for RCMP officers. What type of law enforcement are in Canada? This is decentralized because Canada police are spread out because it's better to have a local police who understand their own communities. Their estimated strength is approximately 370,000 as of 2024. And then next, we have the short history of their police system. In 1868, Dominion Police, responsible for policing the mainland of Canada. In 1868, Canada created its first national police force, the Dominion Police, to keep the peace and enforce the laws across the main part of the country. And then 1873, Royal Northwest Mounted Police, Northwest Territory, most populous state in Canada. Because in 1873, Canada formed the Royal Northwest Mounted Police, or the RNWMP, to police the Northwest Territories only, which was then the most heavily populated area of Canada. And in 1920, birth of RCMP, or the Dominion Police and Northwest Mounted Police, was merged to form the RCMP. Because in 1920, Canada two main police forces, we have the Dominion Police and the Royal Northwest Mounted Police. They are joined together to create the Royal Canadian Mounted Police that we call the RCMP, which we know today. The RCMP is unique in the world since it is a national, provincial, and municipal policing body. Members of the RCMP were called the Mounties because they are utilizing horse for patrolling and internally as the force. And next topic is the organizational structure. We have the three: the national, division, and then detachment. First, let's talk about national. The RCMP is organized under the authority of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police Act. In accordance with the Act, it is headed by the Commissioner, who, under the direction of the Minister of Public Safety, has the control and management of the force and all matters connected therewith. Because the RCMP is governed by a law called the Royal Canadian Mounted Police Act. This act says that the RCMP is run by top officer called by the Commissioner. The Commissioner takes order from the Minister of Public Safety and is responsible for everything the RCMP does. Next is the division. The RCMP divides the country into division for command purposes. In general, each division is conterminous with the province. The RCMP organized Canada into divisions, and each division usually covers one province to make managing the police force easier. And then next is the detachment. Detachment is a section of the RCMP which polices a local area. Detachments vary greatly in size. The largest single RCMP detachment is in the city of Surrey in British Columbia, with over 1,000 employees. Are the most local level of the RCMP presence? These are the smaller units, communities, or areas within a division. They handle day-to-day policing activities such as responding to calls, investigating crimes, and maintaining community relations. And then we have the recruitment for police system in Canada. Recruitment for police forces in Canada is a competitive process that involves several stages. We have the eligibility requirements. First is the citizenship. You must be a Canadian citizen or permanent resident. Your age is 18 years old above. You must be at least 18 years old. In education, high school graduate, high school diploma or equivalent is usually required, with some agencies preferring post-secondary education. And then we have a physical fitness. You need to pass a rigorous physical fitness test demonstrating strength, endurance, and agility. And then we have the background checks. Extensive background checks are conducted to assess your character, criminal history, and suitability for the role. In the recruitment process, you need the application. Number one is the application. Submit an online application including your resume and a cover letter tailored to the specific agency requirements. Number two is the testing. This may involve various assessments including written exam, testing your knowledge of law, critical thinking, and problem solving. The next is the physical fitness test, evaluating your physical abilities. And then the psychological evaluation, assessing your mental and emotional suitability for the job. And the third is the interviews. Multiple interviews with police officers to assess your communication skills, personality, and suitability for the role. Number 4 is the polygraph test. The polygraph test may be required to assess your honesty and truthfulness. Number 5 is the medical examination. The medical examination is conducted to ensure you meet the physical and mental health standards. And then number 6 is the training. Successful candidates under rigorous training at a police academy or training center, learning law, procedure, tactics, and firearms safety. The specific agency is the RCMP, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. It's Canada's National Police Force and recruits officers for various roles across the country. And we have the provincial police. Each province has its own police force. And then the municipal police, cities and towns have their own police forces with varying recruitment procedures. And then remember, police work is a demanding and challenging career, but it can be incredibly rewarding. If you're committed to serving your community and holding the law, a career is a Canadian policing may be a good for you. And then next topic is discussing by my buddy, Lenon Mayo.
This topic is firearms, weapons, and equipments. In accordance with the Firearms Act, the Canadian Firearms Program oversees firearms license and registration, maintains national firearms safety training standards, assists law enforcement agencies, and aims to enhance public safety. Firearms in Canada continue to be regulated by the Firearms Act and Part 3 of the Criminal Code. About weapons na. Let's talk about weapons naman. Well, hindi naman po lahat ng mga police magkakaparehas ang model na ginagamit na sidearm for duties. Like the RCMP issued the Smith and Wesson with a model of 5946. It's a service pistol that been using for duties on for enforcing the law, like that. And there's a taser na like gagamitin lang kung hindi sa mga minimal actions or sa mga makukulit, ganun. And there's the equipments na laging ginagamit din nila, like sa mga land fleet and marine craft, aircraft. Nakaparehas din na dito sa Philippines na may ginagamit din. Like sa like mobiles, ganyan, submarines, and mga papawid na lagi nating nakikita. Next one is about uniforms naman. There's 3 types of uniforms the Canadian police was using. There's the operational uniform, the dress uniform, and ceremonial uniform. The first one is the operational uniform. RCMP officers use this uniform when in frontline duties. This consists of gray shirts with RCMP shoulder flashes, navy blue pants with gold trouser paving, bulletproof vest, and a pickup with a solid gold band. The next one is the dress uniform. This equipment, they are performing certain formal duties like in social medias, meetings in the higher ups, and this was also known as the blue surge. This was with ang nagkaiba lang naman kasi talaga dito sa dalawa. Sa operational dress is the jacket and yung pangloob. So the last one was the ceremonial uniform. This uniform was also known as the red serge. This consists of a military pattern scarlet tunic tailored from serge fabric with the high collar, blue breeches with yellow stripe identifying a cavalry history, a Stetson hat, a some brownie belt, and high brown leather boots with a white roof. Tapos na pa tayo sa uniforms. And the next one is about rank and insignia. The rank system of the RCMP is partly a result of their origin as a paramilitary force upon its founding on February 1st, 1920. The RCMP adopted the rank insignia of the Canadian Army, which is turn came from the British Army, which is almost identical to the of the current Canadian Army. Parehas din po sila ng Philippines na merong police commissioners and non-commissioners. And sa commissioner nila is the higher rank was the commissioner. The second is the deputy commissioner. Third, assistant commissioner. Fourth, the chief superintendent. Fifth, the superintendent. And the last one is the inspector. And sa non-commissioner naman po is the higher ranking is the corps sergeant major. The second one is the sergeant major. Third one is the staff sergeant major. Fourth is the staff sergeant. Five, the sergeant. The sixth is the corporal. The seventh is the constable. And the last one is a cadet. RCMP is unique in the world since it is a national, federal, provincial, and municipal policing body. Members of the RCMP were called the Mounties because they are utilizing horse for patrol and internally as the force. As Canada's national police force, the RCMP is primarily responsible for enforcing federal laws throughout Canada, while general law and order, including the enforcement of the criminal code and applicable provincial legislation, is constitutionally the responsibility of the province and territories. Larger cities may form their own municipal police departments, such as Ontario and Quebec. They operate their own police force, and the Ontario was like just they was the one who has investigate the crimes and aiding the police force, and the Quebec was just like assisting the police force naman po. Yun lang naman.
So that's the end of our topic. I hope you enjoy. Thank you for listening.